Next question.
Kenji, the potato enthusiast. Okay, this one's for me. Ali, how do Muslim doctors reconcile their medical insight with false medical info in Islam, like dipping flies into drinks, eating ajwa dates protects you from poison, etc.? Yeah, you're right. Like they just compartmentalize, as far as I know. They believe all this stuff, but they compartmentalize. And it's not just the Muslim doctors. I mean, when I did my residency, I was with this guy who was an MD, PhD. Okay, and his PhD was in molecular biology, but he didn't believe in evolution because he's a Pentecostal Christian. So he would go and he'd do the whole speaking in tongues and all this stuff on Sundays, and he'd come and just practice normally like everybody else did. So they have their own rationalization. It's just irrational. They compartmentalize, and they make connections where they're not supposed to, and it can cause problems usually. But yeah, there's a lot of doctors who do this. So.
Yeah, but I reject the idea that like when you let's look at this question. I'm going to criticize the question. Sorry, Kenji. Saying, how do Muslim doctors reconcile the medical insight with false medical info in Islam, like dipping flies into drinks? First of all, there's a lot of assumptions being made here. Most Muslim doctors don't know about this hadith. Right, so the idea that so most Muslim doctors have no idea that there's some such crazy hadith that exists. I would assume the vast majority of them don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, the ones, if you confront most doctors with this, they're probably just going to just be there's not. This hadith are going to be like, oh, I don't know, like they're going to claim ignorance. They're definitely not going to accept the hadith. Like most Muslim doctors, just because they're Muslim, it's not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm Muslim, so I have to accept this hadith. They don't, like, it's not the Quran. And even if it was the Quran, they would just be like, I don't know, I just know that this is not real. Like they're going to ignore you. They're going to try to, I don't know. I don't like a good example. I don't think most Muslim doctors are going to be like, oh yeah, I'm a Muslim, so I have to accept this. They're just going to somehow do some gymnastics, ignore it, or not, Islamic criteria. It doesn't pass their, Islam is not on most Muslim people's mind, including the doctors, okay? Like, a lot of people think like Muslims, just because Islam teaches you that Islam has to be on your mind and it has a criteria and everything, that they assume that that's how Muslims think and operate. Most Muslims don't think about Islam that much. It's not really part of their daily thinking, okay? And I know for a lot of Muslims that lived very Islamic lives, that might come off as like maybe dismissing the way that they used to live. But the truth is that, I used to be very religious about Islam. I used to be very, take Islam seriously. But people like us who took Islam very seriously and really wanted to live the life of what it means to be a Muslim, that's not how most Muslims treat Islam. Anyways, Ali.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing about this. Like, I think a better example over here would be how do Muslim doctors reconcile their medical knowledge with, with evolution, for instance. Right, and I've talked to them about it, and there are generally, most of them say exactly what Francis Collins says, who's like the Christian sort of doctor it was actually Christopher Hitchens' doctor in his last days. He's a very religious guy, but he's the head of the NIH, and they're like, well, God started the process of evolution, and then you have this additional argument. Well, if evolution is one of the cruelest. Like the cruelest, it's the processes that could ever exist. Like it is made to allow a species to suffer. I mean, every species can only survive by killing other species. Like that's what evolution is. It's a very, very sadistic system for life. So did God create that? Why would God create a system like that? So this debate can go on, and it's a debate that is ongoing. Continues. I say debate very, very liberally. But
hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.